What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Wolfie here. Now, apologies, I know I sound a bit under the weather because I am. I've had gastro so bad for the last few days, and I had 38 degrees temperature. I'm still not feeling amazing, but I still wanted to get this video out for you guys. It's going to be a bit of a condensed one. I don't think I'll be able to get through like a full hour, but let's see how we go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting as always. If you want to join the Rage Traders Discord, it's in the link below. If you didn't know my trades last week, it was pretty horrendous, but another traded in player that got injured and just didn't perform well, which was Jahrome Hughes. Went for a bit of a pod play. Thought Melbourne would turn up on Anzac Day at Amy Park against South Sydney Rabbitohs. I don't think I could have been ever more wrong on a thought of a team turning up and at least competing than what just happened at Amy Park. That was unbelievable. The thing that really just hurt them, I know like people say, they're a different team and all of that, but the thing that really hurts them is they, at the start of the game, if you watch that game, they actually get into positions of being in great spots, and they'll be like 10 or 20 meters out, and one of their forwards will just knock it on. Also, like Jack Howarth, Nick Meaney, they're just they're not performing. So my trades last week were Jesse Colquhoun out, Ethan Sanders out, and Tom Turbo out for Nico Hines, which I was obviously very happy with. Francis Manulelua and Jahrome Hughes, which was very, very unfortunate, but it is what it is. I took a gamble, I did a boost, and I got whacked in the head. But the good news is I had a very, very strong week. So I had a 1596. I went up 7,138 spots. So now my rank is at 6,221. Apologies. I do need to keep eating because I have gastro. And I need to keep having bland foods, Powerade for electrolytes, and water. So apologies on that. So yeah, very, very happy with my week. It's almost crazy. Maybe it should have just been Xavier Willison in my flex, which is something I was considering over Jahrome Hughes. Would have left me with more money. It also was more of a security pick. A safer pick because the break evens. But I did actually think Melbourne Storm would turn up and Jahrome Hughes could get a 60-70 plus, and I was wrong. It is what it is. But again, very happy with my week. Now I've just got to be really smart with trades. I've only got one boost left, so I've been very, very aggressive this season. And the only reason I've been aggressive this season, this is not how I generally play, just because essentially of how everything has just happened this season with them not changing prices, people getting ahead really, really quick. So I've kind of tried to adapt to this specific season. Next season, I would never play like this, but because, people are getting, we're seeing people score way more points because one, the points have increased in NRL. Two, certain players are getting higher points like your Simi Sasagis, or your 2RFs like your Finifiliakis at times, all these type of players that, get the 6 agains and they take more runs and they get more base and they get more hit-ups. This is something that, puts players in front out even more in front, and I've tried to adapt to that. Whether this blows back in my face, I don't know, but I can't use a boost now until way out, like after the origin period. So that's completely fine because my whole plan with getting Jahrome Hughes was to have someone there that sat in my team that was there for the round 12 game, which he was going to be playing against the Bulldogs. That's completely fine. Anyway, thanks for watching the video in terms of just him being here to support it. We're going to get into a little bit of a wrap up. If you do want to join the Discord, the Rage Traders Discord, it'll be in the description below. But yeah, again, very happy with my week, very happy with my team besides Jahrome Hughes. My trades this week will be very close to this as follows. I think there will be a very high chance that I might go Dufty. I just need to mull on it a bit more, but the biggest one for me will be Xavier Willison. I think the biggest trade you're going to see from people is go Noah Martin to Xavier Willison, which I haven't even checked yet. But as soon as I saw Xavier Willison go off for 100, I was like, this is most probably going to be the thing people do. It's a smart decision. He's there for Origin coverage. He's also covering, Ryan Couchman that's now on the bye. Also, shout out to everyone that followed me on the Tallis Duncan trade last week or maybe this week and got him for the 147. Very happy with that. I think when I got him, he was at 598,000. He's now at 24 break even at 708,000. Crazy. I called it. I'm very happy with this. We can't always get our trades right, every single one of them. But this one we did. Also very happy on bringing Hines in. I didn't get him in the game before the bye, so I saved not having him for 2 weeks. I get him in. He gets 113 in a game where they still didn't look great against my Cowboys. Very surprised that they didn't actually play and win this game. But I'll say it over and over again. Sharks can be a bit of a pretender team at times. Also, Brandon Smith getting injured is not very good for me, especially if Robson gets chosen for Origin. Carrigan back this week helps my team an immense amount as well. Someone who I held on to and very happy I've done so. Also, very interesting to see how Willison sort of adapts with the Carrigan. Carrigan returning. Is he going to be someone that has a bit less of a score because of it? I assume he will be, but we'll have to wait and see. But I still think he's a great pick coming so close to Origin as well. All right, let's get into a bit of a wrap up again. I'm not going to go through every little thing because I just feel like absolute crap. Tigers Raiders though, 125, insane. Dewey, I think he was the halfback to get last week for me. If I did want to go 3 halfbacks, I think it's too late to go him, but if you want to do it, do it. I think now is when their draw kind of dies down a bit. I could be wrong in saying that, but I remember someone talking about that. So now they have Sharks away, Melbourne away, Manly at home, bye into Bulldogs at home, Penrith at home. I mean, it's not the best of draws. I mean, considering how Sharks and Melbourne have been playing, you don't even know what those games could be. But I assume Sharks are going to just kind of try and want to bounce back. They always do. They've always been a good home team, and sometimes away they just kind of turn into a very weird team. So take that as you will. I'm not reading too much into Taylor May as of yet. I think he scored 1 or 2 tries this game. Jerome Luai, you'll love to see that. Again, I think Jerome Luai is more of a home player, and then in the away games you'll see very low scores from him, but we'll soon find out. Terrell May 79. A lot of people traded in Terrell May. I think it's interesting. I think you would want to have seen more than this, in my opinion, for someone that was just getting like 101 and 90 plus. So that didn't happen, but I mean, you live with it. Hopefully he doesn't get picked for Origin, because if he does, I think it's a bit of an iffy trade, especially at his price. Raiders, they're just not what they used to be, in my opinion. I said this from the start of the season. Jamal Fogarty was their centerpiece. He controlled and constructed the team. His kicking game is very experienced. His kicking game is very Origin-like, where he does a lot of kicks that just apply dominance to the field pressure. And I don't think Raiders have that. I think Raiders are very flashy with Ethan Strange and Ethan Sanders, and I don't think Ethan Sanders really has what Jamal Fogarty has. Obviously, there's a massive age gap. There's a massive experience gap. But this is what we're seeing now, that the Raiders can't just hold their own a lot of the times. So, yeah, that's my take on the Raiders. Hoskins 73. Noel Martin going down with an injury. He's your trade out now. He's sort of kind of like peaked out, done. Thanks, Noel Martin. He was starting this game. It was very unfortunate because of the Hudson Young being suspended, I think, for 3 weeks or 3 games. So you were like, okay, I'm going to hold Noel Martin, and that typical Supercoach, like I was going to trade Noel Martin out. A lot of people were trading Noel Martin out. Oh no, Hudson Young is suspended. Noel Martin starting, get him back in, easy 60, and then he gets injured. You can't talk about Supercoach and how it works more than that. That is specifically how Supercoach can just literally bite you in the backside. Nothing else to really talk about here, honestly. I'm not a fan of like picking Weeks or Ethan Strange or anything like that. I wouldn't be touching anyone on the Raiders team. Maybe Hosking if Noah Martin is now down and Hudson Young. That could be a slight little pick that you could look at. Maybe a little pod play. 34 break even, 483,200. Jeez, that could be very, very interesting now that I look at it. I'm not sure how much I'm interested in it, but they have Gold Coast away, Penrith. They have a round 11 bye, but they do play round 12 against the Dolphins. Then they have North Queensland, Sydney Roosters, Parramatta away, Melbourne. It's actually not bad to maybe look at Hosking. Possibly. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that's something that you look at after the round 11 bye, though, and get him in for round 12 if he looks the goods. Cowboys, Sharks, my Cowboys. Scotty Drinkwater, for those that held on to him, congratulations, because he's absolutely flying at times now. Someone who I actually was like, okay, maybe I do need to consider getting him in because I've never had him this season. The thing is, you don't know what Cowboys team is going to turn up. If we look at them now, so we have Bulldogs away. I don't know what Bulldogs team is going to show up. Then we have Parramatta, which could be a massive game for Drinkwater. And that's at home for us. So if you did want to make a play, it could be for then. Remember that he does play on the round 12 major bye as well. He won't have Dearden and like possibly Lukey and some others and Cotter. So that could hurt a bit. But he's versing Souths, who then don't have like Latrell, possibly Cameron Murray. So there, it's going to be tit for tat where we lose some, you lose some. And I think that's going to be a game that he might step up in even more. So yeah, very, very interesting. The biggest thing here for me, it's not a bad thing. It's just an unfortunate thing, but 46 points to Cowboys and Purdue just he scores the lowest Supercoach points in the team. That's really surprising to me. 33. It's kind of awkward to see when we score 46 points. But it is what it is. I don't want to really focus on the 5/8 position too much. I don't want to go to like a Cody Walker or someone else. Yeah, it just is what it is. Chester continues to be very good with his base, 66. Lukey, great again. We'll have to see whether he gets picked for Origin or not. I dare say he will be. But yeah, nothing much here to talk about besides Drinkwater being the main possible target for people, I think. Chester's just still doing work, and Purdue, even though not really relevant on the score sheet, I think he's still a hold, especially against Parramatta Eels. Like, he could do anything against them. Boy, oh boy, the biggest hold for me ever, KL Iro. In the comments below, if you were an Iro owner, let me know. If you were an Iro owner and you traded him out, let me know. So it was like 30 minutes into the game or 40 minutes, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting rid of Iro. I've held on to him so long. I've given this guy a chance. And then I had a bit of a sneaky bet. I had Braden Brayley to score, Murray Talagi to score, and Sam Stonestreet to score. And I was returning like $1,000 from like 50. And I'm like, okay, I got Brayley, I got Murray. Surely Stonestreet goes over in a game like this. Then it gets past to Iro. He scores through a massive gap. Then Sam Stonestreet is completely open. They don't do a cutout ball. They go to Iro. He goes through a gap. He scores. Then again, Stonestreet is open. Goes to Iro. He scores. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just a bittersweet feeling. Finally, 128 points, top scores for Sharks. Very, very happy with that. The thing is now, is he's not going to be scoring 3 tries every game, but I still will live with it. Talakai, absolutely massive as well. He's really strong this game, but his defense was pretty poor, to be honest with you. So I'm interested to see if anything happens there. Nico, just doing Nico things. Very happy he's in my team now. Just be wary that round 12 bye, it does come for Penrith and for Sharks. So if you do have that, you'll be missing out a player there, but that's nothing too crazy to worry about. Blake Brayley, huge this game, 110 points. That is the hooker to have. I did say it before. If you weren't going anyone else, you're going Blake Brayley, and this is why. Harry Grant has just not been. At the start of the season, everyone was so happy about Harry Grant, against the Parramatta Eels, and I said, simmer down. Okay, he's a facilitator. They're not the same Storm team. People were laughing at me. Someone ridiculed me on YouTube comments, and I said, it's just my opinion, but just wait and see. And now look what has happened. Harry Grant is not giving you the numbers that, a premium like Blake Brayley would. And look, it could just be completely different, but in a game like this is exactly why you want a premium. Blake Brayley, he can put up 100 plus. For Nrl Blake, best game of the season in terms of Supercoach points. Good to see, but still wouldn't go there. I got rid of Jesse Colquhoun this week because of Cam McInnes coming back in. I think McInnes's minutes will continue to rise. He came off the interchange. You might see a bit of a change here where he starts now. They'll go, how are you feeling? Yep, good. Yep, well, you're slotted in. What the hell? Braden Trindle got 6 Supercoach points? Oh, that is not nice to see. Well, there's your score that drops out for the week. Braden Trindle, 6 Supercoach points with 34 points to the Sharks. That's that's interesting. Wow. Anyway, is what it is. Wow, I didn't actually know that. Nothing else here to talk about for the Sharks. Let's go to the Broncos Bulldogs. Massive game here. The Broncos just keep coming out and saying, who cares about our injuries? We're a team. We're a unit. And Bulldogs keep coming out and saying, we're not a team. We're not a unit. And Galvin continues to score very well. A lot of media, criticizing him, and he's not a halfback and all this stuff. But I think there's way more issues at the club than, it's the Galvin effect. And I think he's going to be the scapegoat of it all. We were better with Sexton, blah, blah, blah. The team is just not performing as the Bulldogs team once used to perform, and it's really, really weird to see. Not expected. I think they'll need a massive turnaround. Crichton back this week. You thought that would be a massive boost, but they just got absolutely dominated. Supercoach-wise, really, I can't speak on anything but Galvin and Crichton. I mean, people like Preston and Kickow, who Kickow went off with an injury. I think it was his shoulder from memory, but I could be incorrect on that. It's just, I don't think there's any Supercoach relevancy to this team, at all. Maybe Crichton is the only one, but Galvin, you'd rather have Dewey, you'd rather have Cleary, you'd rather have Hines. Why would you go to Galvin in a team that is underperforming? Going to the Broncos, though, Xavier Willison, huge. Someone who maybe I should have got in last week instead of Jerome Hughes. Easy to say when you can see the scores, though. But now, 2RF, FRF duality. He is getting more minutes because of the Payne Haas injury. Because of Origin, he's going to get more security and minutes. He just seems like a bit of a shoe-in pick at the moment. And he's just a workhorse, a really good player. I'm not going to talk much about Ezra Mam, Jordan Ricky, Dean Mariner. I don't think they're Supercoach relevant at all. Maybe a bit of Jordan Ricky. He's been having a pretty good season. Ezra Mam, if you wanted to look at someone over this period, maybe you could go there considering the form they are in. Brisbane Broncos do have a very, very rough Origin period, though. They have the round 12 bye. Then they have the round 16 bye. Then they have the round 19 bye. So that's 3 buys in seven rounds. It's really tough. I don't think you'd be wanting to go to any Broncos players there. Besides Xavier Willison, who can kind of slot in here and there at good times for you, especially with restings after Origin. Talk about embarrassing. I don't know. I think the Melbourne game was more embarrassing than this, to be honest with you. But Roosters absolutely throttling the Dragons 62-16. Sam Walker having the man of the match, James Tedesco, just doing James Tedesco things. Honestly, I expected Tedesco's score to be more. If you think about it, he pretty much got a gimme try when he picked it up and ran 70 to 80 meters. If he didn't get that, he would have been set for a 90 plus. But I feel like I'm going to vomit. Yeah, basically, it was great from him, but they just were scoring so much that takes time off the clock, that he doesn't get those little grindy runs that he's so used to. But still, 108 is great. If you captained him, well done. Vice captaincy gets a bit awkward. Reece Robson, for me, has been a really nice pickup in the hooker position where I didn't want to spend too much on hooker, so I'm really happy with the decision I've made there. He's getting better each week with the team. And Crichton, most probably one of his better games, but still I'm not looking at him, especially with Origin looming, and I just don't trust the pick at all. Toya's been great. If he wasn't an Origin player, he'd be very close to a shoe-in for me. Everything goes right on this Roosters team predominantly. The biggest thing here is I can't believe set to 2 in a game like this just pops off for a 90. I'm glad he's in my team, but I seem to never have him as a reserve pick. Congratulations if you did, because that's really good. Toby Couchman's still performing really, really well. Someone who you could possibly look at. Really, really nice to see, to be honest with you. Looking at the coverage here for Toby Couchman, let me just check. It's New Zealand in round 12. Then they have Broncos away, Sharks away. Then they have the bye in round 15 and a bye in round 19. So very interesting to see there. But yeah, he's just been putting out really good numbers. A lot of us had him at the start of the season, that didn't happen. And he had like a bit of an injury niggle. Now he's back and he's firing. Hamish Stewart, still nice to see a 64. Didn't really like Ryan Couchman too much on the edge, but in a game like this, getting 51, you'll still live with that. And I still think he's a great pick. Leilua had a horrible game. I mean, 2 sin bins given. I think the second sin bin was a bit of a joke, to be honest. Like, I get if there's no way that's a professional foul. There's no way that's sin bin worthy. That's just a penalty at most. And I don't even think it's a penalty. So yeah, tough call. But again, I don't think that was going to change the outcome of the game. Let me talk about Su'a Wong as well. 84. He's been really, really good. I spoke about him in a pods video. He's really striving in this position now. Someone who could be a clear pod. I think he plays Origin though. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys, but I could be wrong on that. If he doesn't, he's a serious option in my opinion. He's a really good player that just, gets an attacking stat here and there, but still can put up some really good numbers. And yeah, that's it for this game. Valentine Holmes still just looks awful in defense, just looks awful in general. And yeah, it's something I didn't expect this season, but yeah, it's happened. It's happened. Warriors Dolphins, this was a really good game. Jackson Ford, he's just been the FRF that everyone wish they had. And if you got him, you're laughing yourself the way to the bank. I'm very happy I got him. I'm very happy that he's just continuing to be that 80-minute player. And with Mitch Barnett going down with a HIA, I'm not sure if it was a Cat 1. This just secures him even more. He's just doing absolutely big wonders. The only thing is now that he's playing so well, there's talks of Origin with him. So we'll have to wait to see on that, but still nothing bad about that. Herbie Farnworth, really slow start this game, but it plugs away for an 80. It's just typically how he works. Osaka was really good this game. Fuller playing in 5'8" this game, 86 points. Dolphins have been playing really good footy, just haven't been able to get the win in the end. Finafuiaki snags away with a 65. A lot of talk about him, a few weeks back. The base king, possible must-have. But yeah, it just hasn't really been getting huge points compared to like a Sasagi in that, but still very, very good. Nothing else to talk about with the Dolphins here, in my opinion, Supercoach-wise. With the Warriors, Aaron Clark's been putting up some good numbers here and there. Calm Pereira has been absolutely awesome. The man of the match this game for me was Tane Tuapiki. Even though, you don't see him on a bunch of tries and stuff like that, he was just running some really hard lines. He was really, really good this game. And really, really good to see. I thought Leka Halasima had a really poor start to this game, just giving away a couple penalties here and there. Again, this is what Leka and Ali Leatawa can do. They have really low scores and then they have really big scores sometimes, but I can't really trust that. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, He's more of an assist king now, being in the centers and Camperera being in the wing, but their chemistry is really good. And that's it for the Warriors. Wade Egan also with a 58, which isn't bad to see from a hooker position that you could possibly look at if you wanted to, because Warriors do play in the round 12 major bye as well. Most embarrassing game of the week for me was this one. If you're a Suafar logo owner, you're very happy with the most insane, weird try when you're losing 48-0 and then you just score off a kickoff. Yeah, just insane. You're laughing if you have Suafar logo. If you had him as captain, which some people would have had, you're very, very lucky about this because, yeah, if that didn't happen, it would have been a very average score. Biggest talking point here is, of course, Latrell Mitchell just absolutely dominating at the moment. By far the best center, the best Supercoach player to have, the must-have in my opinion. Tallis Duncan, 147 points with 3 tries from memory. Absolutely killed it this game. Barged over Cameron Munster for 1, then moved to the left because of Cameron Murray coming off with a HIA. He got assessed and he was all fine, but he stayed on the left and absolutely dominated there, which is where you kind of want to see him, but still very good signs for Tallis Duncan owners. Might be a bit too late to get on him now, but that's just my opinion. Dufty's been absolutely incredible. I think a lot of people like mocking him, like let's see him versus the Melbourne Storm and stuff. This guy looked like he was just a part of the South team for 4 years. He was running hard. The lines were there. I don't know if it was like the Melbourne Storm defense was that bad, plus Dufty looked that good that he looked like an origin player. But 109 points, absolutely huge. People are trading in for him this week with a minus 56 break even, and it's warranted. Very nice game. Colin Matangi, 63 off the interchange, which is interesting to see. Ewan Aitken back in the team, 76. I thought that might impact Duncan a bit, so we'll have to wait and see, but nothing too much. And Brandon Smith goes down with a re-niggled the calf injury, which is really annoying, but we'll have to wait and see on what like the timeline is of that. But he's just an annoying player to own at this point. Cody Walker, 64. I think he was the cheap halfback, cheap 5'8" that you needed to go. That's just going to plug away and get you 60s here and there. And you're still living with the 64 from a 5'8", so completely fine with that. Harry Grant, 59. Yep, cool. Stefano Utoya-Kamani, if he's the highest scoring player, Supercoach points wise in the Storm team, well, you know how that game went. Cooper Clark, I was never really invested or understood the trade of people getting him in. I didn't like it. I think people are over trading in the FRF area now. Jerome Hughes out with an injury, said to not be playing this week coming. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Cameron Munster still really underperforming, especially on defense, and in attack sometimes just doesn't look to make the right decisions sometimes. Overruns it here and there. Yeah, bit of an off season for him so far, but they definitely can turn around. Joe Chan, if you still have him, you definitely should be going off in my opinion. Nothing else much here to talk about for the Melbourne Storm. Or Wilbur Warbrick, if you have him, you might still hold him, but I think it's pretty much close to done. Knights, Panthers, again, exactly. As soon as I saw this, I didn't get to watch the first half. I was actually sleeping. My body was out of it. And then basically it was halftime and he was on like 86 points. And I'm like, this is good. And I was like, watch him do the exact same thing as last week. Watch him have like a 20 to 30 point second half. And that's why I wasn't getting ahead of myself. And it happened. But Dylan Edwards, 151 points, a hat-trick. Brian To'o finally getting his century in Supercoach this season. Don't think he's got it before this season, so he had a really strong game. Newcastle Knights showing their colours a bit now of old. Dylan Brown was really interesting to see this game. He looked really, really strong. He could be a bit of a pod play. If you were looking for a halfback that's cheap and that can put on a bit of points, it's him. Trey Mooney, again, had a bit of a horror game. He came off the interchange this game. I don't really understand why when Panthers are so mid-heavy and forward-heavy. I don't really understand that coaching decision. I don't know if there's an injury niggle there. Francis Manu Lalua, I think I expected this from him, but I think he'll be better in games where they can actually compete a bit more because he has some strong runs. He had some good offloads. He should still make a bit of cash, so don't worry too much on this score here. Crossland 75 is absolutely huge. If you've had him since the start of the season, I think he's been a great pick. And you're just getting some nice points from him. Gagai 26, hard to see. Fletcher Hunt 20, very hard to see. Fletcher Sharp, really hard to see. A 33 off 106 break even. This guy's going to be so cheap. Get ready to target him. You could easily go. For me, it's like Peasant to Sharp. Sounds so nice, but it could be Purdue to Sharp. But it has to be at the right time. Talking about the Panthers, besides the three, Edwards, Toto, and Cleary, Yo 85. This guy's still been putting up crazy numbers, and I'm kind of wondering whether I was just meant to just have Yo and Twal in my team and just gotten Twal earlier. But yeah, crazy. With all these minutes resting, and he's only going to be like, I feel like we just got absolutely baited into that, and he's still been putting up great numbers. Garner 42 again, get rid of him. In a game like this, he's not even getting anything attacking. Go. That was bait. And I sort of said to people, look, it's a bit of a risk in my opinion. You should wait and see. But if you went in on it, get out. Casey McLean 71, and Thomas Jenkins, Milky Man 42. He is mortal. No tries this game. It went a lot to the right side. Just didn't fall to him. Welcome to the Milky Land. 142 break even now, or 42 points. He's going to lose some serious cash. So wait and see on that one. Last game, Sea Eagles versus the Eels. Jamal Fogarty with 113 points. Benny Turbo with 100, and Lehigh Hopewadi. You know what the crazy thing here is? The best player by far to me was Hamoli Olakawatu. He just looked like every run he was battering ramming someone. Lehigh Hopewadi had a really good game, and I'm just now thinking that out of the two, between Cooler and Hopewadi is the guy to have. But I just wonder if it's a bit too late. Cooler was great. Don't get me wrong, but I expected him to go like 90 plus this game, especially with this type of scoreline against the Eels at Pines Park. So very interesting to see there. Clayton Falalo, he had a good game, but I think it was 2 tries. So maybe don't read into that too much, because they are against the Eels at home, and the defense was pretty bad. Plus they had, I think, 1 sin bin to Talon de Silva this game. Brian Kelly, he was good this game, scored a nice try. Again, you can't read too much into this Eels team, to be honest with you. Yeah. Volkman went off with a head injury, came back on, I'm pretty sure. So don't worry about that if you somehow, some reason, own him. But yeah, the Eels, I just can't speak about them too much. A lot of people talking about Pryke, FRF, cheapy, negative 30 break even. Go for it if you want, guys. I don't want to keep swapping and changing for FRFs. I think it's just wasted trades, but if you do have a position to do that, go for it. Sure. Tanela Paseka 50. Okay, but nothing crazy. And yeah, that's pretty much your wrap up for round 8 of NRL Supercoach. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to head off now. I need to get some rest. I'm absolutely cooked. 33 minutes. That's as much as I can bear. Sorry if it was a bit lacked energy and stuff like that. I'm sweating out. I'm cooking here. So thanks. I hope you had a wonderful round. Put your results down in the comments below. Any questions you have, any trades that you're thinking about, whatever you're thinking, let me know. Put them down in the comments or in the Discord if you want to come join, which is in the description. Invite, it's completely free, and I'll be happy to answer anything, or whoever's in there can help out as well. All right, peace, guys.